Praise God.
And if you belong to Christ, who holds the power and the healing abilities, that same power and healing abilities belong to you too. You too also have self-healing abilities and that same power that Christ brought you. Isn't that nice? You should be glad to answer that.
To make a change, because right away, they say, well, I got to change, right? I got to make this transformation in my life, right? Exactly how long it's going to take, because that could be a long process. That process can...
Marcus Hart Transform You Radio Show. The only radio show where you can make real results and start living in your purpose. Visit MarcusHartEnterprises.com. MarcusHartEnterprises.com.
Hello, my people, and welcome back to another exclusive Transform You live show. You know what today is? It is Transformation Tuesday. Yes, we are all about transformation here, and we have an awesome guest here for you. So we got a special treat. We got some things here to accomplish, and thus it's the same for every day. This day is just a little bit more special because, you know what, we have all made it here. I just gave you a hint. We're going to be talking about gratitude today and how we can best implement gratitude into our strategies. But this fascinating guest, she combines strategies and gratitude together to create an awesome and amazing word that I like. It's grategies. Try saying that 3 times over and over. So to provide any updates and news, so just to update you guys real quickly, I am sort of sad to say, I am sad. There's no sort of to it, but I know all things is for his best. Tomorrow will be the last show. It will be the last interview that I'll be conducting tomorrow, and I will be back though. So I'm not leaving forever, but I will be back. I am grateful, sticking with the theme today, I am grateful, and you guys have transformed me a lot. The listeners, as well as many other guests, have transformed me and made me a better person and a better host, as well as a better servant to each and every one of you guys. And I want to continue doing that. And the reason for the absence is, and the reason why, too, if you've been paying attention while we have, just deliver so much content, such little time, is for the simple fact that I am running for state senator in my home state. I believe that the message that and the type of content that I deliver and the type of wisdom that I want to offer everyone should be, delivered right in my community to start making some real transformation happen where it's most needed. At the world is changing, politics has changed a lot, and this is a great opportunity to start stepping up and taking that leadership, even in public office, to begin to impact lives on a larger scale. Okay. With that being said, let's move forward here. Let's talk a little bit about our guest here. So our guest. What can I say? Phenomenal guest. It's truly a blessing. I'm truly humbled to have her on, and I am grateful for having her on as well. And what she does, she focuses on gratitude strategies. She works with different organizations to keep them primarily, the top and best, clients that she has worked with from becoming someone else's clients. She works to provide them gratitude strategies. She works with organizations and she works with individuals one-on-one, and she helps people personally by showing them the benefit of appreciation. She has a formula that she uses. I'm going to allow her to talk more about it. I don't want to keep getting tripped up on words, so I'm going to allow her to talk more about it. Without further ado, let's hear from Lisa Ryan.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's great to be here today.
It's great to have you, Lisa. So share a little bit about yourself. I know I said a little bit, but I'm sure you can tell us a little bit more.
Well, my gratitude practice, I've always been a grateful person, but I really took it to the next level in 2009 when a couple of my friends and I went to a 4-day intensive workshop, and we came home. We were on the way home, and we were all jacked up about it. We knew that the feelings that we were feeling on that day, unless we took action immediately, then we would go right back to where we were before because, being self-development junkies like we are, it had happened time and time again. We wanted to do something different. So we actually opened up a Facebook thread and started writing down, sharing with each other the things that we had learned at the seminars. But most importantly, one of my friends said, why don't we write down 3 things that we're grateful for? And we did that every day, and we held each other accountable for it. And it was that process that has absolutely transformed my life on every level. And I knew that it was a message because it had benefited me so much that I knew that it was a message that the rest of the world needed to hear, particularly corporate America, since that was my background. And appreciation in the workplace, let's just say, was not my experience. So that's what I'm trying to do, is change the face of business one thank you at a time.
Definitely. I definitely love your message. I love the fact that you mentioned taking immediate action. That's something that we don't do often. And was it more of when you decided to take that immediate action that you just didn't want to let another time waste where you didn't do something about what you learned right away, or was it something else?
You know what? It was, I knew from previous experience because I'd come back from these seminars and stuff, and like I said, have a list of things that I wanted to do. But when you have so many things that you on that list, it kind of becomes overwhelming, and then you don't do any of them. And it reminds me back of the movie, God, I don't even remember. I'm probably aging myself with this one, but a movie called What About Bob? With Bill Murray back in the day, Richard Dreyfuss. Oh, yeah. And there was a step in there that Richard Dreyfuss was just telling Bill Murray about baby steps, taking baby steps. And really that's what it is. It's that one thing, that one practice that maybe moves you ahead, 5%, or it moves you ahead 10%, but that consistent action is what, again, changes everything over the long term. But it's not expecting that everything is going to be completely different overnight, because it's not. But when we can just take those baby steps, that one tiny little action that we can take, and that we can take it consistently, that's when our lives begin to change.
Definitely. So how can we show gratitude for just the first initial baby step that we make?
Yeah, in my book, The Upside of Down Times, Discovering the Power of Gratitude, it's broken into 4 sections, and I call it my show book, which is also a lot of my programs are based on that. But the first letter that you referred to is S, and we look at how gratitude starts to change our perspective. And the best way that you can commit to is my 30-day gratitude challenge, which simply for the next 30 days, first thing in the morning when you wake up in the morning, or before you go to bed at night, write down 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for. And it can be anything. And basically you start where you're at, because, if you're going through a difficult period in your life right now, it may be difficult to find something that you can be grateful for. So look around you. I mean, last time you turned on a switch, did electricity happen? Do you have running water? Do you have flushing toilets? Do you have transportation? Do you have a warm bed? When we can start to look for the things that we already take for granted and start there with our gratitude list, then it gets easier and easier to do it. And I say for 30 days, but actually part of my evil plan is that you do it for 30 days and you see such a profound difference, or you start to see such a difference in your life that you continue the practice. I've been at my practice now since 2009, and there are times that I'll miss, with my travel schedule or something going on, but you know what? because I'm so in tune with it, I feel the difference when I'm not taking advantage or when I'm not writing down my gratitudes every day.
Nice. I love it. So I just heard you say something, very important, and that's being in tune. That shows that, like, you have did something, different in your daily approach of life that has caused you to be one with it. So, with that said, when we start just being grateful for, like, the very, very small things, how immediate will we begin to see ourselves being grateful for even bigger things?
The interesting thing is that you don't always feel different. I had one woman, it was funny, I actually posted a question on social media. This was several years ago, and the question was, how do you incorporate gratitude and appreciation into your business? Now, I was thinking that this was a standard, this was a, vanilla question that I would get the simple vanilla answer to, and the very first response I got from this woman was basically, you don't need to incorporate the power of appreciation in business because people are just going to take advantage of you anyway. And you could just feel the anger in this email. So I emailed her back, and I'm like, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. And she's like, that's okay. I'm a big girl now, and I'm moving on. And I'm like, holy guacamole, what is going on in her life? So being, kind of a glutton for punishment and wanting to see where the story was going to go, I emailed her back, and I said, this might sound kind of silly, but if you would take my 30-day gratitude challenge and for the next 30 days simply write down 3 things that you're grateful for the next 30 days and let me know how it goes. And she emailed me back, and she's like, oh, thank you so much for being so positive. I'll do that right away. And I'm sitting there thinking, who are you and what did you do with Grouchy Girl? But anyway, I stayed in contact with her, and then about 30 days went by, and I emailed her, and I said, so how's everything going? And she said, it's actually really weird. I haven't been feeling that much difference, but I went on vacation, and other people noticed. The thing is that gratitude changes your energy. Instead of giving off all of those negative vibes, as you start to look for the good, no matter where it is that you're starting, you find it, people start to notice because you're not as crabby as you were before. You aren't as grouchy. You're actually, not getting to the point of being like a Pollyanna, but still not wallowing in that, pit of despair that sometimes we get stuck in.
Wow, that's powerful. That's very powerful stuff. You are definitely providing something that surely missing and should be inserted into everywhere. Now, you mentioned changing your energy and how it just draws more people your way because your energy has changed. Now, is this the way it begins to influence or begin to transform the workplace culture too when companies institute these practices?
Yeah, absolutely. I do one of my exercises that I do in my corporate programs. I just call it the thank you, you're welcome exercise. And it's really in getting people out of the habit of not saying you're welcome. Because you think about it, somebody says thank you, and what do you hear? No problem, no worries, it was nothing. When somebody says thank you, they're giving you a gift. And when you say it was nothing, you're taking that gift and you're throwing it back at them. When we start to change our language in the workplace, and we start to complete that cycle of appreciation, so when somebody says thank you, you accept that and you say you're welcome. Again, that just the language changes. I worked with one of my clients. They had me in for my thanks program where we work on creating that culture of appreciation in the workplace. And we focused on the language. They brought me back 6 months later for another program, and the manager said they were still seeing a difference because people were more polite to each other because they were focusing on changing their language. It's as again, as easy, that baby step of completing that thank you by saying you're welcome. And if you're a person that says no problem, or if it was nothing because you think you're being all humble and stuff, you're not. Complete the cycle of appreciation and simply say you're welcome. It'll change everything.
Wow, that's quite interesting. You know, it's something as simple as just the language shift. You know, and if you can, wow, I'm blown away by this. You know, this is definitely going to help me out too.
Well, and let me give you another example that people just love. Okay, so I see you and I say, Dr. Marcus, that is a great tie that you're wearing. The proper response, of course, would be,
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, but instead, when people give you a sincere compliment, what do a lot of times we say? Oh, this whole thing, no, do you really think so? I don't know. So basically, if I am telling you, Marcus, that is a beautiful tie, and you say to me, this whole thing, basically you are telling me that I'm an idiot for liking your tie.
Wow.
The proper response when somebody gives you a sincere compliment is to say thank you. To say thank you, it's a complete sentence. So you say thank you, period, and then you shut up. Okay? Again, It's the languaging. It's the languaging. We're not being humble when we are not accepting somebody's sincere compliment. Now, we can say, now, on the positive side, you might say, oh, I'm so glad you like my tie. It's one of my favorites. You know, or I just got it as a gift from a special friend. So you can expand on the compliment from a positive side, but again, because we're wired for negativity, too many times we go to the opposite where we're saying, oh, this whole thing, oh, I got it on sale, oh, you know, it's not as expensive as it looks, because we try to diminish what people are telling us.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, this takes me back to just, you know, kindergarten and just, you know, elementary. You know, it's like learning the English language is both a gift and a curse. You know, because as we get older, our vocabulary expands so much, and we overlook these little things. And you know, and it sounds exactly what you're doing is, you know, putting genius from where it really originally came from, and that's you know, the things we learned growing up.
Yeah. I mean, when I started keeping my gratitude journal, I didn't tell my husband. I mean, not that it's any big secret or anything. It was my thing, not his thing. But by my writing down the gratitudes, by my focusing on gratitude, it has also just made our marriage so much better, because I noticed that Scott started, you know, being more verbally expressive when it came to expressing appreciation to me. So because, like I said, through no communication, like I didn't say, hey, honey, let's do this gratitude thing together, but I've reaped the benefits of it because he's just naturally geared to being more appreciative. Gratitude starts with the person. And Scott and I will be celebrating our 20 years wedding anniversary in April. And I will tell you what, because of this gratitude practice, I feel like a newlywed. I am so blessed with an incredible husband that even in 20 years, we don't take each other for granted, because we're constantly looking for ways that we can acknowledge and appreciate the little things that we do for each other. Nice.
I love it. Now, have you heard, you know, good reports from like companies about, you know, individuals going back and, you know, applying this practice in their very household just like you do?
Oh, absolutely. I had one gentleman, he was in one of my corporate programs, and he came in and he shared this beautiful email with me. He said that when he took my program, he was in a really dark place. He was about 70 pounds overweight. He was going through a nasty divorce. You know, all of these things were going on in his life, and he was just, you know, he was just kind of wallowing and feeling sorry for himself. And so he took action and started that gratitude journal. And I got his email about a year later, and he said that he was down the 70 pounds that he had gained. He was back to a healthy weight. He was just starting a relationship with somebody that he felt was going to be that special person, that soulmate. But by focusing on the good and what he already had in his life, he felt better for himself. And think about the benefits to his organization. So now he's not bringing in all that stress to work. Now he's not at that uncomfortable weight where he could, drop dead of a heart attack, or, their health insurance premiums go down because they have healthy employees. So even with my corporate programs, I focus on the employees as individuals, because when we can start with them, when we can show them the benefit of reducing stress, of finding the good, then they start to change the work environment. It's one employee at a time, because corporate culture is not something that changes overnight. It's taken a long time to develop, and it takes a while to change. But if one person, if one or two people in that organization make the commitment that, yes, this is important, which is why I love doing things like management retreats and leadership meetings, because when it starts at the top, when management realizes how important it is to acknowledge the people that work for them, then they're the ones that change the work environment. People see it coming from the top. They know it's real. They know it's sincere. And then the change starts to happen.
Wow, I love this. You totally are delivering something that can totally transform culture and ultimately a community. So with that being said, what are some of the best strategies to be able to find gratitude in even the most difficult, hardest situations like that of a community?
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, I am not one of those people that are going to tell you to slap on a happy face and pretend that nothing has ever gone, happy, happy, joy, joy all the time. But the thing is that we want to experience the emotions when we have them, the anger, the disappointment, the frustration. But we reach a point that, okay, I've had the pity party, the rawness of that emotion is over. What's one thing that I can find that's good in this situation? And when you sincerely ask yourself that question, what is one thing that I can be grateful for, chances are really good you can find it. And I'm a great example of that. When I had been doing my gratitude practice for about a year, and almost a year to the day, I was in medical sales at the time. I was having the best year of my life. I was number 5 in the company, well on my way to winning the sales trip for the first time. I was invited to an organizational announcement. And on that conference call with 12 other people, my position was eliminated, effective immediately. So when I got off the phone, I was shaking, I was crying, I was just scared. I had no idea that was going to happen. I woke up in the morning, I had a job. That afternoon, I didn't have a job, and that had never happened to me before. So almost immediately, within an hour of that happening, I was guided to go into some prayer, to go into some meditation, and ask the question, okay, what can I find to be grateful for about this situation? Like the worst thing that can possibly happen to you, your whole entire source of income being ripped out from underneath you. And as I sat in that prayer session, my goal list from 1989 popped into my head. And it had a whole list, maybe 80 different items. The first one was to buy a house. Okay, check, I had done that. But the second one was to become a professional motivational speaker. And the third one was to write a book. So it was almost at that moment that I knew that these goals that had been on my list for more than 20 years could come to fruition. So it's in knowing that, because I tell you, through the number of networking events that I go to, people lose their jobs all the time. They're in transition and they're stuck and they can't get out of it. When they can start to look for the good and to focus on the things that they're grateful for and to really create what that next position or what that next step's going to be, it's scary. It's not easy being an entrepreneur.
No, it's not.
On the other hand, I will tell you, my girlfriends would be like, "Oh, Lisa, that call was such a blessing in disguise." I'm like, "Oh, honey, there was no disguise."
It was pretty clear.
Yeah, when you are happy, when you love what you're doing, and life throws you an unexpected turn, when you're in the practice of looking for the good, which is why it's so important to just start that daily practice of writing down what you're grateful for no matter where you are, because it'll get you through the average times, but when you need it in the tough times, it gives you something that you start to naturally fall back on, because you can ask yourself the question, what can I find to be grateful for in this situation now? And the answer shows up.
Definitely. I'm here all the way with you. I feel like I found, my sister or something, my long lost sister, older sister. Yeah. Yes, and I like how you just worded this. You said in the practice of looking for good, daily, doing that daily. That's awesome. Now in thinking about wealth, a lot of people are, trying to find that key, that secret that can unlock wealth. And and you mentioned, people losing their jobs, losing missed opportunities, or not being able to move up in their career. Now, what can grategies, or grategies do to help people, with unlocking wealth?
You know what? It's really starting to focus on what you focus on expands. So if you are focusing on lack, if you're focusing on the fact that you don't have a job and you up to your eyeballs in debt and you don't have any money, you're going to get more lack. The thing is, and here's a great website that I discovered. It's called globalrichlist.com. globalrichlist.com. In the United States, poverty level is $11,770 a year. So basically, if you make less than that, you are considered poor in the United States of America. But if you take that number, $11,770, and you put it in at globalrichlist.com, it will tell you that you are part of the 14.6% of the wealthiest people on the planet. We are incredibly wealthy here. The poorest of our poor in this country are exceedingly wealthy when it comes to the rest of the world. So instead of focusing what we don't have, let's take a look at the things that we do have. And when we focus on that beautiful relationship, or we focus on the fact that we have a home, or we have a car, or we have a warm bed, or we simply have somewhere where we have shelter, we have a cell phone, whatever it is, we have a computer. Start to look at all those little things that we take for granted, and as you realize how wealthy you already are, you will start to attract more, because what we focus on expands.
Awesome. I like it. I like the way you think it, and you really just providing us some just awesome nuggets and things we can apply instantly in our lives right now. With that being said, about your book, let's going back to your book now. Can you tell us just in briefly why we should purchase your book?
Yeah, The Upside of Downtimes, Discovering the Power of Gratitude, was my first book, and I've written 8 books, but I would tell you, and I love them all, but there's something special about that first baby book when it comes out. When The Upside of Downtimes, I had been probably researching it and studying it for a couple of years, but it never flowed. And it just reached a point one day that I'm like, this book has got to come out. And when the book started coming out, it just flowed. I did a talk on gratitude from the aspect of self-health, and wealth. And then I thought, wow, that's a really good segment for a book, but what's missing? And I thought relationship with others. So that's when I told you that my book is set up like my show talks, and that we take a look at gratitude from the self, from the aspects of health, because there are plenty of health benefits when you have that regular practice of gratitude. Your relationship with others, whether it be family members, spouses, colleagues at work, people that you meet, and then wealth. So again, whether it be in the workplace itself or from a personal abundance and prosperity standpoint, The Upside of Downtimes is a great read. It's filled with stories, and it's my heart coming through in writing.
Nice. Wow, I'm definitely going to pick me up a copy. I'm all in. You can count me in.
Yep, it's on Amazon. And it's on Amazon, and if you prefer the ebook version, there's actually the Kindle version of it on there too.
Okay, great. Perfect. So if someone wanted to get in touch with you, perhaps to, purchase more of your products or just take a look at what else you got or, possibly hire you
for
an event, what's the best way to contact you?
Actually, at my website, which is grategy.com, GRATEGY.com, as in Gratitude Strategies, you can actually sign up for my Gratitude Thought of the Week. This is a free, it's a short, inspirational message that seems to show up exactly when you need it. I have subscribers writing me every week that says, oh my goodness, how did you know? That's exactly what I needed to hear today. And they share their stories with me, and it makes it all worth it. So at grategy.com, you can see where I'm speaking. You can request a quote for me to come and speak to your organization or association. You can email me via the website. But like I said, if nothing else, sign up for Gratitude Thought of the Week. You can always unsubscribe if it's not meeting your needs, but I'll tell you, I keep them short and sweet, above the fold, so that you have a story there and just a message to remind you that spaced repetition of what we can do to look for and find the good in our lives. And then finally, I also have my 30-day gratitude challenge is at a website called Take5andthrive.com. And it's all spelled out, TAKEFIVEAND, Thrive, THRIVE.com. And then you'll find the 30-day gratitude challenge in the ways to say 5 thank yous a day. And again, encouragement. You have videos on that. You have books, and there's all kinds of stuff on that offer page.
Awesome. All right. That's perfect. So, that's a question that I always ask all of my guests that come on, with it being election season. It's always, good to hear some different opinions. Now, what opinion do you have on the current election, coming up here in November presidential election?
Oh, boy. You know what? I am going to be so glad when it's over. It's
a great word.
Yeah, I mean, to one part it's entertaining, but on the other part, because there is so much negativity with the candidates, I'd love to have a candidate that really focused on the good and, the good that we are as a country and who we can do instead of all the mudslinging. Political races are a very difficult time for me because it's hard for me to listen to people that aren't willing to look for and find the good in each other. So maybe not the answer that you wanted, but
you know what? That's an excellent answer.
It's the real one.
That's actually an excellent answer, and I appreciate that. And it's so true. If we did shed more light on the good and be grateful for what all we have to offer, as a country especially, we definitely can make bigger impact and begin to, collaborate more efficiently as a country.
Right, exactly.
So,
exactly. And you know what? And the thing is that I put my trust in God that whoever is elected as the next leader of our country will be the right person for our country at this time when we need it. That's all we can do. We can do the very best that we can, and pray that that higher sources than us make the final decision, and it's the right one.
Definitely. And we can all use some grategies. That'll be helpful too. So
right,
if you want to make
exactly.
an immediate change, grategy is the way to go. So I'm all for you. And thank you so much, Lisa. You've truly been a blessing here today, and you truly have, caused an additional shift in my mind too. And I'm sure the listeners appreciate you very much so. And, and to all of you out there who is listening, and to all the replay viewers especially, you guys get to benefit from this, and you get to play it over and over and over again as much as you like, and just really begin to pick out some of the things that really, jumped out to you the most. And I encourage you to get connected with Lisa. She's definitely an awesome person. I'm definitely going to stay last show on tour, recognizing that she is my long-lost sister. And, so grategies.com, so that's grategy.com. Make sure you visit the website, sign up for a mailing list, and get those daily thoughts. I'm sorry, can you remind me what it was, Lisa?
It's a weekly gratitude thought of the week, so it's a once-a-week inspirational email that'll show up for you when you need it.
Awesome. Things we need. So, make sure you get hooked up with her. And if you want to be a part of the Transform You Broadcast Live Media Network, make sure you do. Although, tomorrow will be the last show, all of these recordings from these interviews will be directly on the website, and you will be able to see the full list of everyone who's already community, part of the community. So it's a growing community of world's leading experts as well as their friends. My friends are there, and you should come along and be a friend and bring your friends as well, so that we can all be friends and exchange positive vibes, sharing the love and sharing the wealth of all the things that we have to offer, So in order to do that, visit the website at transformubroadcast.com. That's transform the letter U, broadcast.com. Do not miss out on that opportunity. And it's totally free to get signed up with a membership too. To each and every one of you, we end by saying many blessings, peace, and love to each and every one of you guys. Have an awesome day, and make sure you join us back again at, looks like 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for our next interview with Dr. Maxine Starr. So have an awesome Transformation Tuesday. See you back later.